Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Kelly and today we're going to be working on the nice list look of my Naughty and Nice series. So I did post recently my naughty look. I can show you a little picture here. Today we're working on the nice list, so more of the good girl side of this look. So I really enjoy this. It's very light and ethereal. It sort of has that sweet quality. To be honest, this is a little bit different of a look for me. These aren't tones that I always go towards, but I love that it has that little frosty vibe. And a little spoiler alert, I am doing a giveaway in this video, so please stay tuned to find out the details on that. If you'd like to see this nice list look, then just keep watching. All right, let's jump in. So I'm going to start off with my eyes just because we're going to be doing some glitter, and in case there's any fallout, which I can just about guarantee there will be, that way we can sweep that away and then go through and do our skin. So it'll be just like the naughty list look where we did the eyes first and then moved into the skin. So I'm going to be honest, in case you guys see any glitter already on my face, it's because I have already done this look once today. I actually got up at like 5:30 this morning to film this for you guys, and my camera battery died like halfway through and I had to keep going because I had to go to work at the salon after that. So I decided I'd just come home tonight and film it again. So I've already ran through this once. I have to say I really like the way it turned out, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do it again for you guys. It's now 9:30 at night, but I did really enjoy this look today, so I'm glad I get to share it with you guys again, even though you didn't get to see it the first time. So first things first, I'm going to use my trusty Flower Light Illusion Concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and use this on my upper lids to really help not only conceal any veins or pigmentation, but it's also going to serve as somewhat of a primer for our shadows. Because I'm doing more of a light look, I want to make sure to go ahead and conceal any darkness that we need to do or any discoloration. When I did the naughty list look, I did use the Urban Decay Eden primer potion, which worked really well, but it doesn't have quite as much pigment to cover up the darkness that I have, which was okay because I was going through with such like deep bold shades that it really didn't matter. But because these shadows are all going to be fairly light, I want to make sure to go ahead and set myself up for a beautiful eyelid. Yeah, we are definitely going to see a few specks of glitter. What happened was when I washed this off, I wasn't really thinking and I just went through and like washed it off like normal. Just a little tip is you want to almost take like a micellar water or a cleansing balm and clean that eye off first, so that way you get most of the glitter off on like a cotton round or whatever, and then you can go through and wash the rest of your face. I don't know why I did that. It was late, I had a full belly. Jeremy and I went out and had a wonderful dinner after doing a few last things for our Christmas shopping, so I think I just wasn't really thinking. All right, so we have our eyelids. You can see how now I've just got that bright space to work with. And then I'll just go ahead and set it with a little bit of loose powder and then we'll continue on. So we're gonna be using the So Jaded palette, which is the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop collab. I know I've done one video with this when I did the His and Hers makeup where Jeremy picked a few shades and I picked a few shades, and so I did two looks so you guys could see, but I think that this palette still has so much potential. I really enjoy using it, so I wanted to give you guys one more option today, and then that way you can see some of the shadows and how they perform again. And I love the colors that are in here. You have some great potential for some fun holiday looks, so let's jump right in. So Rose Quartz is probably my most used color in this palette, just kind of looking at the pan and how much I've used so far. It's funny because in the pan, to me, it looks like a, I don't know, like a neutral light camel color. Like to me, it looks a little bit more taupey brown than anything, but when you put it on the lid, it actually has that slight rosy tone to it. So it's kind of funny because I never would have guessed that that's the color it shows up as. Now I'm going to be keeping a little bit more of a rounded shape as I go through. I think that that's going to really just keep it like soft and innocent looking. For the naughty list look, I did more of an elongated cat eye, but I really just want something angelic and ethereal for this, and this will really just sort of maintain that. As much as I can with my eye shape, I do really have quite an almond type eye shape, so as much as I can kind of keep it a little bit more rounded, that's what we're going to be going for. All right, so now we're going to go into my Precious, and this is a light creamy shade. I'm just using that to run along the edge of where Rose Quartz is and up onto my brow bone. So this is gonna help just blend that shade out and give it a softer edge. Oh my gosh, I have glitter like stuck up in my eyebrows. Wearing glitter makeup, if you don't take it off right, is just like decorating with, if you guys have like glitter ornaments or glitter decorations in your house, you know, when you put that stuff up and you have glitter on you for like 3 days. So that's probably how this is gonna go, just because I removed it so hastily. So learn from my mistake. And then next we're gonna take Smoky Quartz, which is definitely another one of my favorites in this palette. It is sort of like a taupey platinum shade. So it's not silver as in like a blue based silver. It's almost like a more taupey purple based silver. I think it can bring a lot of different looks together, and it works well with a surprising amount of the shades in this palette. So I do enjoy using this one a lot. And I'm just taking a flat shader brush and pushing that all over the lid. This is such a beautiful shade. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see a little bit closer. So I love this shade. I think it's just that perfect, goes with everything shade. You could do this alone on the lid and just like blend a little bronzer into your crease and be good to go for the day. So I really appreciate this one. I'm just gonna take that same original brush that we used and blend where the crease meets the lid, just to keep it really nice and soft. That is one thing I would say if you're looking to up your eye game look, one of the first places you can start is really taking the time to blend your shadows together. There are certain times where you want more of a crisp line, but if you're really looking for a beautiful blown out eye look, the best thing you can do is blend in between every step. So just taking a brush to kind of smooth over those edges whenever you are adding a new color. It just really helps to kind of make the look really refined. So now I have that done, and now we're gonna get into some of the fun, the glitter. So starting off, we're gonna use Diamond, which is this top shade. This is the one Super Shock formula that's in here. So if you guys are familiar with Colourpop's Super Shock formula, it's almost like a pressed dry mousse, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I don't use my fingers very often to apply colors, but this one we're gonna use this for because I do find that it works the best. And this shade really is a topper shade because it doesn't have a lot of pigment to it. It's almost just toppers of fine silver and blue and maybe like a little teal micro flecks. I think that this looks really good as a wash over some of the other tones. You can do this with so many colors in here. I'm gonna pack this on and I'll show you guys the difference from one side to the other. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but this side has a bunch of tiny little micro shimmers to it. Maybe you can see just how the lighting sort of picks that up. This would be a great time to grab an awkward screenshot and send it to me. And I'm, again, not worried about anything that falls out underneath my eye. That is one of the reasons why I don't use my finger very much. I don't really have the longest of nails, but I do have some length to my nails, and I find that it can lead to some inaccuracy. But being able to use your fingertip, I think it's just the smooth surface and the heat of your body that it just really helps press in those shimmers. But since we're gonna be cleaning it up before we move on to the face, it won't be a big deal. And now we're gonna move on to the sort of like Sugar Plum Fairy part of this tutorial. We're gonna use Opal, which is a pressed glitter, and this is definitely more of a chunky texture, if you guys can see that. This has little icy, it's very like Elsa. It has icy light violet and green, and it's almost like sea glass tones. So I think this is gonna be really pretty. What we're gonna do is use some Too Faced glitter glue and pop this on the center of our lid and then just pack that on with our finger. I'm gonna go one eye at a time just so that the glitter glue doesn't dry in between eyes, and this will just give us that extra pop of color right on the center of the lid. So I'm using one finger for the glue and then a separate finger for the glitter. That way I'm not sort of like contaminating the palette with a bunch of glue, and I can really get a very clean application. And now for some added depth in the outer corner, I'm gonna use rose quartz and stone together to create a soft gray tone. This is really just going to help add a bit of dimension. And I think this morning when I used the shade, I did it before the glitter, so that probably would be easier, but I'm okay with just popping this on just because we're going to be adding it in that very, very outer corner. And again, we're just taking that original brush, softening that edge together. Now, the further away from the handle you hold your brush, the more delicate effect you'll have with it. If you come in really close on the handle, you're going to be so close and the pressure is going to be harder, so you'll end up having a more extreme look. So when I'm just looking to soften an edge, I'm out on the very corner of my brush and just giving that a little blend. All right, now I'm up to the task of taking off as much glitter as I can. I did get a little bit of fallout from the application. I will say that these Colourpop pressed glitters are really pretty, but they do give you a ton of fallout. So you do want to make sure to go ahead and do your eye makeup first before you go ahead and do your face. This morning when I went ahead and just used a wipe to clean it up, it was fine. Obviously, because I just smeared it all over my face, washing my face, that's a little bit different. But if you just clean up your under eye, you shouldn't have too many problems. So this might seem obvious, but when you do go and clean up your face, make sure that you wash the glitter off your hands or wipe it off, just because you don't want to go through later and like get a streak of glitter on your cheek from something that's on your finger. So I just went ahead and cleaned that up with a wipe. Now we'll go ahead and start the face. I'm excited to share with you guys this little combo I've been using for the last few days. I picked up the Glossier Future Dew serum during the Black Friday sale. I think Glossier was 20% off or 25% off. And this is an oil serum hybrid. I was reading the ingredients and this has glycerin and squalane in the first 3 ingredients listed. So it's rich in humectants and it's going to be very hydrating. So this is really going to help give our skin that glow we're looking for. Now what I did find is this serum has a bit thicker, tacky, not like tacky sticky, but it's definitely a thicker serum consistency. So to make this a little easier to glide across the face, I've been cocktailing it with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. Just a pump of each of these and it really helps create a beautiful consistency on the face, just a little easier to spread out. And I'm just mixing those on the back of my hand. This just feels super hydrating. So if your skin is feeling a little like dull and lackluster, this is a great way to give it a little bit more of a boost. I just think this adds a little bit of glow and it just makes your skin look super healthy. So this is definitely one to try out if you're looking for something like that. I don't necessarily think that using the Watermelon Glow is necessary. You certainly can spread the Future Dew out by itself, but I just like using the two together. And can we just talk about this packaging? Look at this. This is so me. I think that this is beautiful. Almost sort of gives a little nod to our eye look today. So I've given that skin cocktail a minute to set, and now I'm gonna go in with the Jane Iredale Beyond Matte Foundation. I was gifted this by influencer to try out, and I've really been enjoying it. It's definitely been something I've been grabbing a lot, and in all honesty right now, it's one of the few shades that I have that is light enough for my pale winter skin, but I do really enjoy this one, and I think it's gonna work well because it does give a bit more coverage, but it's still very natural looking and soft, which is kind of the effect we're going for. So as I'm filming this, it is the Saturday before Christmas, so we are getting down to the wire. And as a hairdresser, this is like my, well, if not my busiest time of year, definitely one of them. So I've had a pretty long week, so I'm trying to catch up with all of the to-do list. Tomorrow I'll probably be doing some gift wrapping, and for my family I do one of those like saran wrap gift balls. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. If you're curious about the saran wrap ball and you haven't actually heard about it, which I can't imagine because it was a big trend for a while, but there are some great videos here on YouTube. But essentially you're buying different gifts, and it could be anything from really little stuff or, you know, something, you know, a little bit more pricey, but you wrap them all up in saran wrap, and we tear it every so often. And so basically people are trying to unwrap the ball, and whatever falls out of the ball when it's your turn, you then get to keep. So it's a fun way to give people little gifts, and my family gets really competitive and enjoys it. But that ball, we do quite a big ball. I add like a lot of stuff into it, but it takes forever to wrap. So we still have to wrap that. So that'll be a project in the next couple days. But other than that, I think we're narrowing it down. How about you guys? I hope you're doing pretty well, and I hope you're going to enjoy this holiday. I'm looking forward to spending some time with some family. Jeremy's kids are coming over on Christmas Eve, which will be super fun. And then we're heading to my family on Christmas afternoon, I believe. So it'll be really nice. And whatever you celebrate during the holiday season, I really hope you guys get time with family or loved ones. All right, so the foundation is on. What do you guys think? I think that this really looks beautiful. This combination of that Future Dew with the Jane Iredale foundation just looks still glowy, but just very soft and almost kind of blurred. Right, so now I'm gonna go through with the Rebekah Under Eye Brightening Concealer. This is pretty new to me. I've been using it for about a week and I'm really enjoying it because it's very creamy and hydrating. So if you have drier under eyes, this is gonna be perfect for you. Now, because this is super emollient, it really keeps the under eye from looking really dehydrated, which can happen a lot this time of year. But because it is so creamy, if you have a tendency to get really creasy, you want to make sure to set it well. And it's not very often that I use an actual concealer brush to use concealer, but I think that this, in the pot, it really works better with a brush than it would like with a beauty blender. So if you guys can see the difference from eye to eye, this just definitely looks very natural. It's not exactly like high coverage, but it does give a really soft brightening effect. And this does have a slight pinky peach undertone. So if you are, I mean, I would say I'm neutral to warm in skin tone, and I can definitely see that color a little bit. And I think that it does come in 2 shades, but if you have very yellow undertones, I don't necessarily know that you would be able to use this on its own. You could certainly find something that layers well over the top and kind of give yourself a double dose. Sorry guys, I keep forgetting to turn my microphone on when my camera has to start a new clip, so I apologize for that. Some of the audio is probably not going to be that great, but thanks for sticking with me if you're still here. So we're setting our face, and I'm using the Hourglass Dim Light Ambient Lighting Powder. You guys know that I love these powders. Basically, I feel like Hourglass can do no wrong when it comes to their powder products. So I think that this is a great option for this look because it just keeps that really nice, glowy, angelic look, if you will. As close to angelic as we're gonna get anyway. Now before I go through and finish up the eye look, I wanna go ahead and complete my face makeup. I'm gonna start out by contouring with the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I'm just gonna use the contour side of this palette. It's a really nice, natural, yet cool toned shade. And this is gonna give us that little bit of definition. Again, nothing too heavy. See how that just adds that really nice, natural shadow. And this does come in 2 shades. This is the fair medium shade. So if you are a deeper skin tone than I am, you could go through with the darker shade. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Quad in the Ghost Holiday Edition. We're gonna take this top shade, which is Surreal Effect. And this gives just a really pretty, angelic, innocent pinky flush to the cheeks. I don't wear more like pink shades that often, but I think in the wintertime, it just gives that really fresh, just in from the cold sort of look. See, I feel like that just has that like frostbitten cheek. And then for the final glow factor of the face, we're gonna use the Ofra Pillow Talk Highlighter. This is a really light, icy pink without being like too silvery looking, and I think that this is going to go really well with the eye look and just pretty much everything we have going on. That sort of cool tone. Oh, that's so pretty. I don't mind being a little bit more lit for this look. I think it calls for it. Just adding a little bit on the brow bone. Little on the Cupid's bow. You guys know I love a good highlighted Cupid's bow. Now we're gonna take that same Pillow Talk highlighter, and I do this a lot where I take the highlighter shade and use it as my inner corner highlight. This just sort of draws the whole look together, but it's the easiest way to get that brightened effect. I'm gonna carry this like onto the lid a little bit, just in the very inner corner, just to travel that icy pink up a little bit more. I really feel like that Sugar Plum Fairy sort of icy vibe. It's very pretty. All right, now I'm gonna dip back into the So Jaded palette. I'm gonna grab this Fluorite shade. So this is kind of a frosty, like smoked out lavender shade, I guess I would say. This is just going to add a bit more of that lavender tone into the look, but it's not like a super neon lavender. It just has that understated feel to it. And I have to say that's kind of the theme of a lot of the shades in this palette. If you looked at this palette, you know, if you saw the layout of it and you thought, oh my gosh, all of those colors, how would I ever use those? The nice thing about a lot of these is they are very muted. Now there are certain cases where you might be seeing a color and you get disappointed by that. Like I feel like the ruby shade in this palette, I used it in the look for the His and Hers video that I did, and it turned out beautifully, but it's definitely a bit more of a sheer ruby shade. It's not like that bam in your face. For instance, like the Huda Beauty ruby palette that I used for the Naughty look, that had some definite like true shades in it, whereas this one, they tend to be just a little bit less pigmented. I'm sure that you could, you know, build them up a little bit more, but the nice thing is then that makes it more wearable. If you're wanting something that's, you know, kind of a pop of color, but it isn't going to be screaming, it's going to be a little bit more of a whisper. So that is the eye look. I think that this is so pretty. I think it's very unexpected for me because I don't tend to wear a lot of really cool toned looks, and this just has that icy vibe to it that is really refreshing for me. I think that this could be a really fun change up for winter. All right, let's go ahead and go through. We'll set our face with the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. This just is gonna help give us that glow. Oh, it smells so good. Just makes me feel like I'm on a tropical vacation, even though I'm here in winter in Wisconsin. And I just pretend like I'm on a beach. So this definitely is leaking. This is definitely leaking. And that just gives that extra boost of radiance. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows, and I'll do a couple coats of mascara and probably even throw on some lashes, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got my lashes on. I have to say the brows got a bit more intense than I was planning. I use a brow pen and I was running out of my lash shade, so I noticed that I had the other shade and it was like super juicy going on. So it's like every stroke was like super intense. So just tried to blur that out a little bit, but it's all right. I'm not mad at big, bold brows. And I went through with 2 coats of my trusty telescopic carbon black mascara. And just like in the Naughty List video, I just took a pair of Ardell Demi Wispies, cut off about the outer 4th and laid those on just so that it's mostly towards the outside. And because I didn't really want an intense liner in this look, I really planned on not using any, but I thought it needed a little bit just to blend in the lashes. So I just used a little bit of the Kat Von D Dagger liner right next to the lashes. You probably can't even tell that there's an eyeliner there. That just really helps blend the edge where the lash band is. And I think we are ready for lips. So for the lips, because we're going to be going in fairly natural, I want to make sure that I have a really nice crisp line. This is Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. I know that there's a lot of dupes out there, but I have really been enjoying this lip pencil. It's incredibly expensive, but I do really like this shade, and it's very creamy. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline just the very outer edge of my lip just to get that defined. So I picked up the Fenty Glossy Posse kit in the VIB sale. This really has become one of my favorite gloss formulas, and I love that they have some other shades. I'm really hoping that they bring these out as permanent shades. I have the full size in Fussy, and I adore it. Now, at first, I was really tempted to use this confetti shade. I don't know if you guys will even be able to see this, but it has that iridescence that really matches the eye look we're going with. So if you wanted to go through with something really ethereal like that, you could. But I have another look that I want to show you guys because I want to gift one subscriber this duo. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll talk about the details of the giveaway. Now, one of my all-time favorite lip shades is the Urban Decay Vice Lipstick in Ex-Girlfriend. This is the limited edition Gwen Stefani shade, but this is totally that My Lips But Better shade, and I'll show you guys why I love it so much. So this is super creamy. It just has that very beautiful nude rose tone to it. This is really, to me, about as like nude as I like to go. And I know that this really isn't nude, it's more like a mauve, but I find that if I go much more nude than this, it sort of starts to look like concealer lips because I do have fairly pigmented lips. and this formula is so beautiful. This shade you can certainly wear on its own, but I want to show you what it looks like with Fussy over the top. So this is the Fussy shade. I am surprised how much I fell in love with this. It's just that really beautiful pink, but not too pink, not too nude, just perfect shade. This is just such a great gloss. It is really like thick in the way that it lays on the lips and fills in lines, so your lips look really nice and plump and juicy. So what do you guys think about this lip color? I just think it's perfect. Because I want to thank you guys so much for your continued support and viewership, helping me grow my channel, I would like to gift one subscriber a set. So this is a full size in the Vice lipstick and Ex-Girlfriend. It is the original like Vice packaging. It's not the Gwen Stefani one. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in this Fussy, so you'll be able to get the full size of the Urban Decay and then the small Fussy. So you have this beautiful combo. All I ask is that you are subscribed to my channel and leave a comment down below letting me know what type of videos you'd like to see in the new year. I'm looking to really give you guys content that you are looking forward to seeing. That's really gonna be the best way for me to be able to contact you to let you know that you've won the giveaway. So the giveaway will remain open until New Year's Eve. So all you have to do again is be subscribed to my channel and leave a comment down below with your video request. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. What do you guys think of this look? I really enjoy it. I think it's fun and fresh, yet has that like little bit of something with that glitter. I think it's really pretty. This would be so pretty for New Year's Eve as well. It just has that little bit of sparkle to it, that glow. I think that this is the perfect way to get on Santa's nice list. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Go ahead and leave any questions in the comments down below, and good luck in the giveaway, and I'll see you really soon.